Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you guys the project timeline. As Hamza mentioned, the sale of agreement was signed in 2016. Alhamdulillah, since then, we have had our zoning approval in 2017. We were able to purchase the property in March of 2018. So in a span of short 2 years, we are ready to start construction of phase one. And as Hamza mentioned, this was our timeline from the get-go. Last year, we had a little bit of a change of heart based on the community's response and wanting to try to move in at an earlier time. So we were speculating and trying to see if we can essentially move in to a modular space. So in 2019, last year, when we stood in front of you guys and we made a presentation, you saw something of this nature that was being presented to be put up. And when the two main purposes behind that, I thought, was that most individuals wanted to move in to a place of worship sooner than later. And we wanted to see if there was a cost-effective way to get something going and start the move-in process. So it was time and money. And when we had initial meetings with the township, they were inclined towards, I met with Jeff Grace, the zoning officer, to see that if we can have such a thing. And initially they were inclined to allowing us to have a modular space on site. However, when the solicitor came in, there was a little bit of a change of mind from the township, and they were asking us to go back and get an amendment to our zoning variance. And that, as you guys saw, that from 2016 to 2017, we were trying to get a zoning variance in the first place. So trying to go in for an amendment was going to require another set of public hearings, getting things published and a whole sort of legal aspects as well. So what we decided was, in order to not try to invest much more than what we had initially thought in legal and engineering fees, and on top of that, the township has also requested us that we would have had to put a fire sprinkler system and a foundation that would be tied down, not just something that we'd kind of bring in and use for a temporary purpose and leave. It was adding a significant amount of cost. So the two reasons why we were trying to go with modular space, trying to save time, which wasn't going to happen because we would have to go through the zoning hearing, and trying to save on cost, which wasn't happening because we were still going to have to pay for additional legal fees, as well as adding on to having fire sprinkler systems and a concrete tie down. And so for those reasons, we decided to cut our losses and proceed with the final design and the first phase. And also something beneficial that came out of it was the idea that Iqra Institute was able to secure a larger interim space. One of the main reasons why we had to look into an alternate space was because Jummah was becoming overcrowded, and so we were unable to accommodate the community within the smaller location. So in January 2020, Iqra was able to move into a larger facility right around the same size as the modular space, about 4,600 square feet. And so alhamdulillah, that space has been now able to serve the community at a better capacity. And alhamdulillah, we're still maintaining a lot of the programs that would happen from the Khair Masjid, even if we are having them at Iqra Institute currently. Alhamdulillah, at Iqra Institute, there were 3 Hufaz who graduated from the part-time Hifz Academy. We have an ongoing adult development program for us to have education, continued Islamic education for our adults as well. There was an amazing Qiraat competition, and all of these things can inshallah be implemented at the Khair site once the time is right. Alhamdulillah, one other thing that we were able to introduce in partnership with ICNA, Islamic Circle of North America, we started a new chapter of Embrace PA. And this is an amazing organization that is led by new Muslims. And the idea is that it gives them an avenue to be able to reflect amongst themselves, to discuss the journey that they were on and how to really benefit each other. And we really welcome them as part of our community. And it's a great way that they can be more integrated within the Khair community, inshallah. Also, if you guys remember last year, at Eid, we were able to host the Eid festival on site at the Khair site. It was a great collaboration between Upper Providence Township, the police department, and the fire chief that we were able to use adjacent parking lots and host over 1,000 individuals who came and really saw what this site looked like and for how big it is and what it can, inshallah, the future that it has. So, alhamdulillah, we were able to host over 1,000 people at the Eid festival on site, and who got a chance to come and see what the future of the masjid site would look like. And it was amazing to see the least. Really quickly, to go over the master plan design, just to show you guys some of the thought that has been put in to the overall design of the project. Right now, where we're at is the first phase, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. But to see what the full master plan looks like, we've divided the section into 3 areas, you can say. The left-hand side, the most-hand side, is, you can say, the educational aspect, where we'll have 8 classrooms serving the greater community, inshallah. The middle portion of the community center is where we'll have the communal needs. So this banquet hall can house up to 250 individuals in a banquet style seating, with an adjacent full kitchen attached to it as well. So the idea would be that this can really serve the community needs, whether it's for weddings, hifz parties, graduations. We wanted to be able to accommodate the needs of the community. And then you'll see that inshallah, the goal is to have a full daycare that is a part of the master plan, and will be run as a independent daycare to allow for Muslim families to be able to send their kids to the daycare. There'll also be an indoor playroom as well that would be attached to the daycare. Then additionally, we'll have a library, a youth lounge, a co-working lounge, and breakout conference rooms. The benefit for this would be to allow for the younger generation amongst us to be able to come and just spend time at and near the masjid so that they can have fun, enjoy, get their homework done, and then when the call for prayer is made, they can come and pray in congregation. And the final piece of the community center portion is the full gymnasium that will be underneath the classrooms. This will be a full court basketball gym to allow for kids and adults to be able to have to play basketball and other recreational sports. So moving forward, phase 1, this is our goal for this year, inshallah. And as you see from the master plan, the rightmost hand side, which will be reserved as the musalla area, is going to be the first phase of the project. And this is what it looks like as part of the master plan. And the inside dimensions of that is what we are trying to construct, inshallah, as the first phase of the project. So the first phase will be roughly 7,500 square feet. The footprint of the building would be roughly 5,000 square feet, and then additionally 2,500 square feet will be on the mezzanine floor, built down to the second floor. So the most of this space, as you saw in the master plan, would have been open, but due to needs of the community, we are going to be creating some partition walls with the understanding that they can be removed in the future so that we can have that open space for additional prayer space. So currently, we're going to be having some multi-purpose rooms and some classrooms on the back end of the first of the main hall. And then also there's going to be 2 kitchenettes and 2 serving areas and a kitchenette. And the idea behind this would be to help serve food during the month of Ramadan or during special events. And the bathroom on the right-hand side will be for men, and the bathroom on the left-hand side will be for women. The second floor, mezzanine floor, it consists of 2 classrooms and a multi-purpose room. There will also be an office and a women's lounge on the left-hand side. And this is dedicated prayer space as well for women who would like to have the privacy to be able to come in and pray without being seen. And there will also be an elevator and 2 means of egress, stairs on either sides of the building as well. So phase 1 construction budget, based on our completed drawings that we recently have finished, this is the most our most accurate guess as to what the budget would look like. It's roughly coming in at 1,650,000. We're still doing our best to see if we can cut the cost, but just to give you guys an idea, for roughly about 7,500 square feet, that's at $220 a square foot, which is roughly what it costs to build a commercial size building. So we're in pretty good, and we're not going over bounds to try to make it very fancy. We're trying to have every part of it as serving the need of the community and really making sure that those needs are met. To go over last year's budget, so a good portion of our budget was spent on repaying the Qard Hasana, which we received from private individuals who lent us the money so that we can go ahead and pay for the property up front. After this year's payments of Qard Hasana, we have roughly about $280,000 left to pay back from the original $450,000 that we started with. Then you see a good portion of the funds that went towards the modular space, the engineering, the legal, and the construction aspect of it. We had signed a contract which we had to spend some money towards getting the final set of plans. We had numerous meetings with the townships where we were trying to actually with our attorney and their solicitor to see if we can really make this work out. And it really, after a lot of discussions and shura, we decided that in our best interest to cut our losses and proceed with the final design. And alhamdulillah, we're here today with the final design ready. That, as Melissa mentioned, we were hoping to break ground, but because of the current COVID-19 situation, that has delayed some things a little bit. Also, just as a reminder, this presentation is available for you to look at your own convenience as well. The link has been sent out, and we'll also include it in the comments so that you guys can look at it at your own leisure as well. So currently, right now, of that $1.6 million that we're estimating, we have roughly about $160,000. So we want to make sure that we get to about 50% of the finances needed, inshallah. And there's going to be a large effort from all of us, bi'idhnillah, to make it happen. And, people may doubt that we would be able to raise this, but we as a community have already done it once. And it was with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even at that time, people said that, you are not going to be able to do this. What's your backup plan? How are you going to get around to buying this land? But it is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I have no doubt that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will again make that happen. It's you and I have the opportunity to be a part of that. And if we are so willing to and lucky enough that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the tawfiq to be a part of that, then it is truly a blessing from Him. So like I mentioned, our next steps, alhamdulillah, we have completed the construction drawings. We are working with the township, even if they are closed, to see if we can submit our drawings to them to see if we can get the building permit in hand. Inshallah, that we will be continuing to raise funds for the project simultaneously. And then as soon as everything is cleared up and we're ready to break ground, we would love to have a breaking ground ceremony